What's happening, everyone? Welcome to EMGM Sports. It's your boy Enzo. This is the England versus Netherlands post-match analysis. Listen, man, I'm not even going to waste no time. Let's just get down to it. First of all, how is everyone feeling, man? How is everyone feeling? How is everyone doing? I know it's been a crazy 24 hours after England winning the game. Last minute winner by Watkins. The place was jumping. It was crazy. England finally get over the line. They make it to their first ever final outside of England. So it's the first time England have reached the final outside of England. What a great achievement. You know, congratulations to all the boys. You know, for me personally, I'll say this straight. Yeah, that was England's best performance by far in the whole tournament. First half, even though they went behind, they showed great character to come back. Obviously, we cannot talk about the penalty. We cannot question it. Was it a penalty? Was it not a penalty? But at the end of the day, England got the decision. And sometimes in these major tournaments, you do need that little bit of luck to get you through. And England got the rub of the green. They got the penalty. Kane slotted it home. And as you know, in the last, I think the last 2 minutes of the game, last minute of the game, Watkins comes on as a sub, links up with Cole Palmer and slots it in, man. What a moment. I'll tell you what, I'm so happy for Watkins. Well done to the lad. He's had to be patient. He's had to wait. Kane hasn't really performed that much, so everyone's been calling for Kane to be dropped and, you know, for Tony to come on. But again, Southgate, you know, he played his cards right. I know a lot of people are not happy with Southgate. You know, I'm seeing they still think it's too pragmatic, it's too boring. He makes his substitutions too late. But yesterday, credit to the guy, you know what I mean? I'm not Southgate's biggest admirer. I'm not a fan of his in terms of how he approaches the game. But credit where it's due. Yeah, he made those substitutions at the right time, bringing on Cole Palmer and bringing on Watkins, and it went well. You know what I mean? We can't sit here and act like those substitutions didn't go well. Do you know what I mean? The substitutions on this occasion works for Southgate. And we have to say, you know, the substitutions have worked throughout the tournament. Do you know what I mean? I think Southgate, we need to cut him a bit of slack. He has got a lot of the substitutions right. Even though I must say, sometimes they do come a little bit late. Like in the second half of the game against the Netherlands, where in the first half, let's go back in the first half. In the first half, the Netherlands scored a goal, and then after that, it's all England, right? So England are playing a five at the back with Kobe Mainoo and Rice, and then you go Foden and Bellingham playing as their number 10s, Saka, Trippier providing that width, and then you got Harry Kane at the top. So as soon as the Netherlands scored, obviously England, you know, took control of the ball, and they were controlling the game, you know, and they were outnumbering the Netherlands in the middle of the park with Phil, and that's the best game we've seen Phil Foden. That's the Phil Foden that everyone's been calling for. Do you know what I mean? We see week in, week out Phil Foden perform in the Premier League for Manchester City, getting goals, getting assists. He was voted the best player of the season. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, in yesterday's game, I feel like he performed really well, and he was unlucky not to go on the score sheet because he really had a great 45 minutes. Do you know what I mean? In the second half, he faded and he was substituted. But first half, that's the Phil Foden that everyone wants to see. Every England fan wants to see that Phil Foden. If he can bring that type of Phil Foden in the final against the Spanish, England will have a great chance to lift our trophy. But yeah, like I was saying, for me, that was England's best game so far. I think we're all in agreement with that. Control the ball, and do you know what I mean? They had a couple of chances to take the lead in the first half as well. So credit to the boys. They played a fantastic game. But in the second half, it got a bit harder because then Koeman, he put an extra midfielder in the middle. So once he done that, he kind of stifled out, you know, England's midfield, where there wasn't that room for Foden and Bellingham to pick up the ball in between the lines. So there was no spaces anymore. And I just feel like sometimes with Southgate, he doesn't react quick enough. You know, the game was stale for the first 35 minutes of the second half. Both teams really cancelling each other out. Obviously, the Netherlands had a few chances with Van Dijk. Pickford made a save. But you can see that the Netherlands were coming back into this game, and they were getting that momentum. They were getting that momentum, and the England players looked a bit leggy. And this is where the criticism for Southgate comes in, and I agree with that, because at that moment I'm thinking, make a change. Make a change now. Do you know what I mean? Make that change. Give your team every opportunity to win this game. You don't have to go to extra time or penalties. You don't have to rely on that. Why not? You know, you go 5 substitutions. Why not make a few subs now? Go and win the game. But Southgate again didn't win the game. Sorry, Southgate did make the subs, you know, early on, and it looked like the game was just, you know, it looks. I was watching the game, I was like, oh, I'm gonna fall asleep here, because it did get a bit boring. And towards the end, it did look like it's gonna go to penalties until Southgate made those substitutions, bringing on Cole Palmer for Foden, and taking off Harry Kane, bringing on Ollie Watkins. And fortunately for Southgate, the substitutions paid off. Do you know what I mean? Ollie Watkins gave the Netherlands defenders something else to worry about, because he's going to run in behind. With Kane, he comes in. Do you know what I mean? He comes back. He wants to get involved in the play. But Ollie Watkins, he's not interested in any of that. And he's just going to run in behind. So that's a different type of problem that the defenders for the Netherlands had to face. And that's where the goal came through, because he's stretching them. He's running in behind, and he picked up that ball. And do you know what? Yeah, a lot of strikers will probably think, oh, let me just pass, or let me try and get a corner here. Nah, man, he got that ball. Typical striker, old school striker, Ian Wright, Jermaine Defoe, far corner, went in. What a goal. What a moment for Ollie Watkins. You know what I mean? I'm so happy for him and his family. And you know, Gareth Southgate's substitutions paid off. It paid off. England won the game, even though they didn't play that well in the second half. But I still believe that overall, with chances created and, you know, the way the game was gone in the first half, I think overall England did deserve to win it. Bar the penalty, where I personally didn't think it was a penalty. But like I said, man, in these tournaments, you need all the luck that you can get. Do you know what I mean? It's always going to be like a referee decision, an injury, a red card, or something to change the game. And in this occasion, England got the rub of the green, and you know, no England fans going to complain about that. So now, bring on the final against the Spanish on Sunday. A lot of people are talking about how England should line up against the Spanish. We've all seen, me personally, Spain. I've played the best football in the whole tournament. They've won all 6 games, however many games they've played in the tournament. They've won all 6 games, and they've played really well. Do you know what I mean? Against the Germans, they dominate. Even though they did fade a bit, Germany did come back into in the second half, and they could have got an equalizer and taken that game into penalties at extra time, but it wasn't to be. Spain held on and won that game. But I did see some vulnerabilities against the Germans. Like, if you really do put the pressure on Spain, they look vulnerable at the back. Do you know what I mean? I wouldn't say they've got the best defense, but you can get at them. You can get at this Spanish team, and even against the French in the semi-final. Yeah, Spain conceded the first goal and they came back. Great goal from the kid, Yamal. You know, what a finish, what a talent. 16-year-old, he's doing bits, man. Absolute doing bits. He equalized, and then Almo came up with the second goal. And yeah, Spain came back, played well first half, dominated France. But in the second half, like I said again, man, France came into it. And if it wasn't for their poor finish, I think France could have came back into that game, got an equalizer, and then who knows where that game could have went. Do you know what I mean? But definitely there's some hope there, yeah. There's some little bits there that the England management, the players, all of them can sit down, watch these videos, yeah, and really study and analyze Spain, and they will see there's weaknesses in there. There's definitely some weaknesses in there that England can exploit, especially with the fullbacks. You know, you got Cucurella, who plays for Chelsea. You know, Saka knows him. He's played against him millions of times, yeah. And that's gonna be some interesting matchups in that game. And in the middle, obviously, we know Spain, they've got Rodri, who's fantastic. You know, we see him week in, week out in the Premier League. He's fantastic for Manchester City. He just makes the game look easy. Do you know what I mean? I look at him, I compare him to like Sergio Busquets. But Sergio Busquets, I see Sergio Busquets more of a defensive midfielder who just kind of just takes the ball off the defenders and sprays it about and lets other people do their thing. But Rodri, I think he does everything. I think he's a great defensive midfielder. His positioning on the pitch is fantastic. Like, how many times have you seen Rodri being caught lacking or out of position? He's always in the right place at the right time, whether he's when it comes to defending, whether it comes even when he's, high up the pitch. Like, we've seen it for Manchester City. He scored the winning goal in the Champions League final, all because of the position. He always seems to arrive at the right place at the right time. And that's Rodri for you. That's what makes him a fantastic player. And England, they've got the work cut out, to try and stop Rodri. Like, if England let Rodri start like dictating the play, could be a long night for England. Could be a long night, especially with the two young wingers on the sides. You got Yamal, you got Williams, pace. Do you know what I mean? And they come to the ball, they come short, they spin, all those balls in behind. I'm fascinated. I can't wait to see what Gareth Southgate has got in store and how he's going to line up the team tactically. Yeah, what formation would he deploy in this game? Yeah, to be effective against the Spanish play. The way they play with the wingers spinning with Yamal and Williams, and also you're probably going to have Almo as well, a great player. Like, Almo is like, his touch, everything is just, the goal he scored against Germany was just fantastic. And also even the goal against France, the way that first touch, the way he took it. Come on, man. These Spain are just, when you think about it, Spain right now in this moment, they're favorite in this game. They're favorite in this game. But it's a one-off game, innit? It's the European Championship final. Anything can happen. And if I'm England, looking at our Spanish side, yes, of course, you have to respect Spain. Yeah, you have to give them all the respect because obviously they've come from the tough side of the draw. They've had to beat Germany. They had to beat Spain. They beat Italy in the group stages. They beat Croatia. They've won all the games. And they're playing fantastic football. Let's not mince our words here. Spain are playing great football at the moment. But in a one-off game, in a final, anything can happen. And that's why I feel like England shouldn't go into this game with any type of fear. Yeah, because England themselves have some great players in there. They've got some great talent. You've got Saka in there. You've got Foden. You've got Bellingham. You've got Harry Kane. Do you know what I mean? You got Luke Shaw is going to be the Declan Rice, Carl Walker, John Stones. These are all players that have won Champions League and leagues and FA Cups. So they won't be, they shouldn't be faced by this occasion. They've played at the big stage. Especially the Man City players, you've won 4 league titles in a row. You've won Champions League. You play against these players, in the Champions League, every season. You beat these Spanish teams. So so the English should not be phased. Yes, of course, show the Spanish the respect that they due. But at the same time, you have to show that you're England. You have to show that you also have some world-class players. And I think this is all going to really depend on the manager, on Southgate, really drilling this into the England players and letting them know, listen, we're not inferior to this Spanish team. Yeah, they've been great. They've played some fantastic football in this tournament, but we're just as good. We're just as good. And you know what? Something just tells me, as much as I like Spain, as much as I enjoy watching their football, which is really great, something just tells me like, it's just England's trophy. Do you know what I mean? The way England have just overcome in games, like the way, they were a couple of a minute or two from going out against Slovakia. Bellingham comes up with an overhead kick. Kane scores an extra time. They go through against the Swiss. I think the Swiss scored in the 74th minute or something like that. Saka equalizes. They go on penalties and they score all five penalties. England score and the Swiss miss one penalty. England go through again against the Netherlands, semi-final. They go a goal behind. Again, they come back and win that game. Last minute goal by Watkins. It's like the stars are aligning for England. Everything is just coming together at the right time. And let's be real here. England haven't really played to their potential in this tournament. They have not played to their potential in this tournament. Obviously, against the Netherlands in the first half, they did play well. They did play well, but have England really performed to the utmost capabilities? No. Kane has not performed to this to his utmost capability. The Harry Kane that we know that we just saw for Bayern Munich, or the one we saw for Tottenham, you know, banging in goals, is not the same Harry Kane we're seeing in this tournament. Phil Foden, he had the first half against the Netherlands. For the rest of the tournament, we haven't seen Phil Foden turn up. Bellingham, he's been in and out. One game he will score the winner. The next game, you know, you won't see him. So England, they haven't really performed that well. But the thing is, what my question is, have they got that last performance? Yeah, where most matters in the game of their lives. Can these players in this current England squad make themselves like national heroes? Like, they'll become treasures in England. If they win on Sunday, yeah, Gareth Southgate will get knighted, and all these players will be remembered forever. They'll be the new Bobby Moores and Bobby Charlton and all these other players that have won the World Cup. You know, England haven't won nothing for 55 years. These players winning the trophy on Sunday will just make them just national treasures, man. Do you know what I mean? So if I'm in England, if I'm one of those England players there, I'm thinking, listen, I'm going to be the hero. I'm going to go out there on Sunday. I'm going to grab that game on the scruff of the neck, yeah, and go and win the game. The likes of Foden, Saka. What a great opportunity, man. Also, let me not forget, let me give a big shout out to Kobe Mainoo. What a player. What a player. Way beyond his years. How old is he? He's 19. Yeah, Kobe Mainoo, 19. 6 months ago, he had no chance of even playing for England. It just shows you how far these kids come and the maturity he has to handle the big occasions. We saw him have a great performance in the FA Cup final against Man City. Yeah, and yesterday again, great performance. In the beginning of the tournament, Southgate was experimenting with the squad. He had Trent Alexander in there for 2 games. That didn't work. Then he brought on Gallagher. That didn't work. Kobe Mainoo slides in there. He's like, hey, I'm your man. I'm your guy. I'll take care of business. Do you know what I mean? And he's made that position his own. There's no way Kobe Mainoo getting dropped now. He's starting on Sunday. He's a, like, when Southgate's putting his team shit together, Kobe Mainoo first name in there. If he's not, he's one of the first ones in there, alongside the likes of Declan Rice, Foden, Jude Bellingham, Kyle Walker. Do you know what I mean? So that England squad is a strong squad. And England, they're not easy to beat. That's one thing I want to say. They're not easy to beat. The Spanish, we know they play great football, fantastic. But if England go into this game, yeah, play a high tempo game, yeah, do it, play like you play in the Premier League. We see these players day in, day out in the Premier League doing bits, playing high tempo games, week in, week out. We know the level of ability these players have, and we know the level of performance that they have in them. But can they turn up for a one-off game against the Spanish? I think they can. I'm going to be optimistic. I think they can. I think they can. And it's now up to Southgate and the members of his staff, yeah, members of his coaching team, to drill this into the players. What I don't want to hear is how good the Spanish team are. I can say, yeah, I'm just a guy on YouTube. I'm just analyzing the game. But in terms of the coaching stuff, in terms of the whole environment of the team, I don't want them thinking Spain are too good or are too great of a team. That's not the mentality that you want to have going into that game. Yes, Spain will be slightly favored. I don't make them over, like the way I'm hearing from other people saying, oh yeah, Spain are definitely favorites. Like, but if I don't think the gap's that big, I just feel like Spain are a great team. They play as a team. Spain play like a club team. The way they gel together, the way everything moves, you can see the patterns of play. They're like a club team. They're together. They have that togetherness. They have the pattern of play. They have everything. It's just a well-oiled machine. England are a bunch of individuals put together at the moment. Like, they're winning games in moments, and there's no clear pattern of play. Even though against the Netherlands they did improve, but there's still no pattern of play. And the manager, as we've seen in previous tournament, is not the best decision making type of manager that, you know, even though he has changed a little bit in the semi-finals, let's give him his props for that. But we've seen him in the past fail to make substitutions at the right time. So I just hope everything comes together at the right time for England on Sunday. I hope that the manager plays the right formation. Would he play 5 at the back again? Or would he revert back to 4? I think England look comfortable with 5 at the back with Saka and Trippier, as the wing backs, and then you go Foden and Bellingham, number 10s with Kane up top. I feel like England look comfortable, and it suits the likes of Phil Foden, because then he can do what he does in the right position where he plays for Man City. But will Southgate stick to that formation? I hope he does. And the other question is, does Luke Shaw come in for Kieran Trippier? I will make that change. This is the final. This is the final. If Luke Shaw is not fit, listen, you get in the sun, you give me 60 minutes. Give me 60 to 65 minutes. Give me a performance, and then if you're not comfortable, if you're feeling a bit of a niggle, or you're tired or fatigue, whatever, I'll take you off, and then I'll put Trippier on for the final, to see out the game. Or Southgate might opt to go with a safe pair of hands, which is Trippier. He really likes Trippier. He's a safe pair of hands. He might go with Trippier again, start Trippier, and then sub him off at halftime or after 60 minutes. So, really depends on how Southgate wants to approach this game. But for me personally, if you're asking me, if I'm the England manager right now, if I'm being paid £8 million a year to manage the England football team, I'm starting with Luke Shaw, because I just feel like it gives a better balance on that left-hand side that England lack. Whenever Trippier's there, he's always cutting back. He can't really cross first time. And against the Spanish, England will have to take all the chances that they get. It's one of those games where you're playing Spain in a final. You get a chance, you bury it. This is not the type of game where you miss 4 or 5 chances. You might not even get 4 or 5 chances against the Spanish. They are that good. They kick the ball that well. England will spend majority of this game without the ball. I think Spain are probably going to have about 60 to 65% of the ball in this game, especially in the first half. I feel they'll dominate England when it comes to possession. So for England, it's all about the transitions. When play breaks down, how quickly can they get the ball to the wingers? Foden, Jude Bellingham, spraying those passes about playing between the lines. How quick can England make those transitions? And if the ball goes out wide to the left and someone needs to cross it in, you need a Luke Shaw in there. You can't have Trippier checking back in to his right foot, and then by that time, the Spanish defenders will come back and the numbers, and then all of a sudden play breaks down. So I will start with Luke Shaw, give him 60 minutes and see how he feels. It's the final. It's the final. What have you got to lose? There's nothing to lose here. There's nothing to lose, Southgate. You've come this far. You might as well give it everything that you got. So very, very interesting game. Very interesting game on Sunday. Well done to England for qualifying, man. Listen, guys, we got a super match on Sunday, man. Like I said, Spain are favorites. I also think Spain are slightly favorites, but I don't think there's a lot for England to fear, man. England got some big players, like I said, Jude Bellingham, Foden, Kane, Saka, Kyle Walker, John Stones, Declan Rice. These are all big players that have played under pressure in the Premier League, Champions League. They've done it. Ooh, they've won Champions League. They've won trophies. Especially when it comes to Phil Foden, Kyle Walker, John Stones. They've all won Champions League. They've been in big games. They've been involved in big games. So there's really I don't see where that fear is coming from or where the intimidation is coming from the Spanish team. But obviously, you have to show the Spanish respect, and you have to respect their wingers, Williams and Yamal. These kids, man. These kids are doing bits, and England have to match them all the way with energy, high tempo, high energy. Get onto them and settle the Spanish a bit. Leave a little. I say in the first 5 minutes, leave a little tackle there. The kid Yamal is 16. Do you know what I mean? Leave a little something on him. Just let him, let him understand that he's in a game. Let him know he's in a game. Don't let the Spanish have your two come. Even Rodri, leave a little something on him. Show him that Rodri plays in the Premier League, but just leave a little something on him and let him know that, listen, guys, You're in a game here. We're not just gonna let you pass the ball around and just watch you like bystanders. We're actually gonna come out and intimidate you and force you back and push you back and get those crosses in, and so Kane can bury a goal with a header or something like that. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, guys, listen. Let me know in the comments what you think. Who do you think? Who you got? I got England winning. I'm not gonna give my score prediction, but I think England will win. I think it's coming home. Come on, let's believe it. I think it's coming home. I think England will win the final on Sunday. Let me know what you think in the comments. Listen, guys, I appreciate you watching this. If you're new to the channel, welcome. Thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and I'll see you on the next one. Come on, England. Bring it home. It's coming home. Come on, guys. I'll see you soon. Peace.